What's up, guys? This is Alex with RJ OCD Recovery. Welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to rewire your brain, calm down your nervous system, calm down your emotions, which will pay major dividends for you in the long term in overcoming retroactive jealousy and OCD. So I've already done an entire video breaking down the anatomy and physiology of the OCD brain, so you can watch that and I'll link it down below. I'm just going to be going over the basics so that we can get into how you can actually rewire your brain. The brain is broken down into three different sections. There's the front brain, which is involved with intellect, logic, and language. You have the midbrain, which is involved with emotions. And then you have your hindbrain, which is involved with instincts. A normal functioning brain is going to have a good balance between all three of these sections, and they communicate back and forth. And one section might be more active depending on what situation a person might be in. Different parts of the brain are going to turn on when necessary in order to maintain your survival. But if the brain becomes damaged, there's some sort of trauma or there's some sort of problem in the body or the nervous system, then different parts of the brain can become overactive. And most often what happens is the middle emotional brain, which is called the limbic system, becomes way more active than it should be, and it starts running the show. The limbic system is running the show, and the intellectual brain, the prefrontal cortex, is taking a back seat. And this manifests as somebody becoming way more anxious, way more emotional, and they aren't really able to logic and reason and think properly because their emotions are just so overwhelming, and they're not really feeling safe because their emotions are telling them that something is wrong. But this can really just be an imbalance in the brain, a cross-wiring in the brain that can be resolved, that can be healed, fixed, and this brings the brain and the nervous system back into proper balance, back into homeostasis. The emotions start to calm down and resolve, and they're not really as intense and all over the place as they were before. And the person has a much better quality of life because their brain is working as it's supposed to. Somebody who has retroactive jealousy is dealing with very intense emotions that are often quite irrational. And many of the times the RJ sufferer can recognize that what they are feeling and what they are going through is totally irrational, but they can't let it go. They can't really logic and reason themselves into believing that they're safe and that they're okay. Why is that? Well, it's because the emotional part of their brain, the limbic system, is running the show. They cannot outthink brain dysfunction in this way. They have to resolve the root cause of the problem, which is cross-wiring in the brain. And with regards to OCD, there are a few specific pieces of the limbic system and of the brain that are totally out of balance and dysfunctional that we need to address and you need to understand. First off, the fear center in the limbic system is sending intense, fearful thoughts and messages to the prefrontal cortex, the front part of the brain, to interpret and make sense of. This part of the brain is not able to handle the amount of messages being sent by the amygdala, the fear center, over and over and over again. It's being overrun with these thoughts. And the reason why it's being overrun with these thoughts is because the filter part of your brain, the thalamus, is not filtering out the garbage thoughts that are unimportant and non-helpful. So you're having all of these thoughts popping into your conscious awareness because the part of your brain that's supposed to suppress the amount of thoughts is basically not even doing its job. So you have way too many thoughts coming in because the doors are just wide open for that to happen. And finally, the hippocampus, which is the memory center in the brain, is only sending you memories into your conscious awareness that are involved in your own survival and maintaining your survival. These are memories associated and linked with very intense emotions of fear and trauma. And your brain is not remembering or prioritizing any old memories that are fond or happy or joyful or any good feelings really at this moment because they don't serve any use for you at this time. You're in survival mode. At least that's what your brain and your nervous system think that you are. So if we can calm down these three sections of the limbic system and then turn on the front part of your brain so that you can think less emotionally and more logically and rationally, then your symptoms are just going to evaporate. They're going to drop significantly And you're going to feel so much better when you can make this happen. Now, I will say, before we get into the actual tools, just know this requires a lot of repetition, a lot of discipline, and it requires you pushing and moving against the momentum that your brain has been maintaining up to this point. This is not an easy process, you guys, right? You're going to have to push through a lot of discomfort and a lot of these programs and these things that you've trained yourself in for maybe even years at this point. You got to practice the new habits, and doing this over time will eventually break up these old patterns and habits you've been doing for a long time. You'll create new ones, and that will lead you to lasting relief, feeling so much better, and you'll get over RJ and OCD in a significant way, if not entirely. So let's talk about some tools here. Another really cool thing that the limbic system does for you is that it interprets all of your senses, all of your 5 senses, and it helps you to navigate through the physical world. And then it makes memories, and then your brain takes this information and it sends the information down into your body so that you can sort of automatically carry on things that you've experienced. So you can be repetitive and you don't have to be constantly thinking. It's sort of like your brain is sending your body into autopilot when you practice something over and over again. So let's bring it back to when you learned how to drive a car. When you learned how to drive a car, at first it was really difficult. You didn't know how to operate all the little tools and the gadgets and the steering wheel and everything, right? You didn't know how to do all this stuff very easily. That was until you started practicing it and practicing it more and more. And eventually, you got to a point where you could do it automatically. You don't even have to think about driving, about what exactly you need to do. You just do it. Your body just does it. That is the limbic system at work. It's taken in information from your environment and created a habit or a program that you can then do automatically without even needing to think about it at all. So we can deliberately retrain your brain and open it up to new information, new wiring, new programs by doing something that you're unfamiliar with, by shaking things up from what you're automatically used to doing. So one really good example of this that you can start doing right away is basically doing things opposite of what you're used to doing. So instead of writing or eating with your dominant hand, which for me, it's my right hand, you do those same things with your non-dominant hand, which is my left hand. So you start eating your food with your left hand, or you put your clothes on the left side first instead of the right, or you brush your teeth with your left hand instead of your right. These are some minor things that you can start doing that are going to open your brain up, and it's going to realize, oh, things are changing here. We have to take in this information because something is demanding us to change and adapt. One of my favorite exercises that I did to help rewire my brain was spend 15, 20 minutes just sitting down and then coloring in a coloring book with my non-dominant hand. Yes, I did that. I'm a grown man, but I did color in a coloring book with my left hand for 15, 20 minutes a day, listening to some classical music, calming down my nervous system, and basically telling my brain and my body that things are changing and we can take in this new information, that we're safe. We don't have to, run away or be fearful or obsess about these things anymore. So start thinking about some things that you can do opposite that you've been doing automatically, and then start doing those things so your brain gets this message. Another thing you can do to sort of shake up things in your brain is to move things around in your home. Change the furniture placement in your house. Move things around so that they're in opposite places. You can even just move something from one side of your desk to the other. And your brain, like I said, the limbic system, which is responsible for your senses, is going to notice that things are different, and it's going to open up. It's going to become more plastic, like what I was saying before. Probably the most important tool that you need to utilize when retraining your brain in this way, and I probably should have said this first, but here goes, is awareness. You need to become ultra aware of your thoughts and your feelings, occupying your body, becoming aware of your thoughts, and not letting any of your thoughts pass through your awareness unchecked. Because you could be doing all of these tools that I'm telling you to do, but if you're allowing the same way of thinking all throughout the day, and you're having thousands and thousands of thoughts that are the same over and over and over again, nothing is going to change. You have to practice catching these thoughts and not agreeing with them and letting them just go on as if you want to keep believing them. You have to check them, right? You have to question them. You have to question the assumption and even go as far as reframing the thought to something that feels better or is at least neutral. So what I'm really saying here is that brain rewiring requires a conscious effort the entire time that you're awake, right? It requires your full investment and attention and discipline. You've got to put in a full effort here and do as much as you can throughout the day, even if it's just noticing your thoughts when they come up and telling yourself, you know what, I'm not going to buy into this story anymore. And one more exercise that you can add in to start retraining your brain is visualization. So with visualization exercises, all you need to do is go to a private place where you can, be away from distractions. You can be sitting, standing, or lying down. You're going to close your eyes and then just start visualizing scenes that are going to help your body recognize that you're actually safe. Because your body doesn't know the difference between what's happening in your mind and what's actually happening out here. So visualize a scene of something exciting and happy and joyful and safe. And your body is going to start calming down and recognizing that this is the truth because it believes it. You're spending time in these scenarios. Over time, this is going to shrink the amygdala. It's going to shrink the fear centers in your brain. Your body is going to be following your brain's lead. The brain is very powerful in this way. So you can convince your body that something is happening even if it's not really happening in actuality. You could be visualizing yourself on a beach and it's 100 degrees out and the sun is shining on you and you're sweating in your vision and you start to actually sweat. Your body will actually start to feel sweat because it'll get overheated. It believes that it needs to sweat to stay cool. Same is true if you were hiking Mount Everest. If you think that you're in below freezing temperature, your body is going to start feeling cold and it's going to start preparing to handle those situations. So you can deliberately hack this part of your body, of your physiology, and start training it to relax. Go to Disneyland and visualize you having fun with your family. Or you could be watching a sporting event with your favorite team. You could go be in the hot tub, or you're getting a massage and somebody's rubbing your feet. God, that sounds amazing. That sounds so relaxing, right? You could even be just walking around in your house or walking down the street. It doesn't really matter as long as it's something that's going to help you calm down and it's something positive or optimistic or happy and fun or even neutral that is going to help train your brain to recognize you are not in danger, you're safe, and you don't have to obsess or do anything in this moment. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope you got some value from it and you start implementing those tools right away. Let me know what you think and if you have any questions below. I have an entire course that goes over brain retraining, calming down the limbic system and the nervous system. And you can access that course in the school group that I've created down below in the description box. And if you need more help in overcoming retroactive jealousy and OCD, you can sign up for a free 30-minute call in the description below as well. Just use the Calendly link there. And that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.